a hip hop fan, so it was like, damn, it feel good to see people up on
Up
it. Like,
on it, yeah. And I'm like, I'm not gonna act brand new, but it's like, I feel like 50. It's like I got popping, and now everybody want to come back and be like, no, we can do something together. I'm like, man, y'all can call me EYL Ian at this point. Like, I'm rocking with the squad. I'm sorry.
Nah, man, I feel like you #1 draft pick, man. You #1 draft pick, so we happy to have you on the team, man. And I was just telling people about Market Mondays. That's been such a tremendous success, and only 2 weeks in, so we got a lot planned for that. I'm looking forward to that, man. I'm looking forward to that for sure.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, my dad called me like, yeah, I've been watching. The family been watching. He like, I just need you to slow down the cursing. I'm like, okay. He like but everything's like the family been watching. Like people from high school been hitting me. People from college. So yeah, it's been And now I have a Smoothie King deal, but yeah, little
brand promotion. Cut the check, Smoothie King.
No, yeah, please soon. I need a drink deal.
Yeah, man. So we're gonna get into. Before we get into it, though, I want to talk about that though, because that was actually just really dope what you said. And I remember I followed somebody on Instagram a while ago, and they said that they was like, I'd rather be tired than broke. And it's like sometimes in life you have to make sacrifices, and that's like sleep is a sacrifice sometimes. Absolutely. And it's like I said, I mean, I see your work ethic, and I watch everything on social media. I watch everything, so I just kind of I see what's going on. And I'm like, oh, I see him working, and I noticed that before you wasn't really that comfortable with social media, like you wasn't really on it that much.
I'm still not, but also if people don't like the people who know me, who are from my hometown, who went to college with me in high school. They know I've been solid. Whether you like me or not, they're like, yeah, he's been preaching the same stuff. But if you don't know me and I don't show my face, it's like, is he scamming or – because there's so many – and that's why I tell people, like, if you message me, if I don't reply to you, it's because I'm actually working. Because a lot of people on social media have no work to do other than promote and advertise.
Yeah.
So and then you gave me the blueprint. Shout out to Trap. Like, Trap was the first person who reached out and was like, yo, when it come out, go crazy on the content.
Yeah, shout out to Wall Street Trapper. Me and Trey had a 90-minute FaceTime conversation with Wall Street Trapper today. So we got some stuff. Yeah, Wall Street Trapper's a good dude, man. And so shout out to Wall Street Trapper. The market is crazy right now. It was up crazy for the last 2 weeks. This week it was flat. So it's like a guessing game. Nobody knows what's going on. But before we even start talking about stocks, we're going to answer some questions. We're going to talk about stocks. But I got to thank you because we spoke earlier today. And, on Market Mondays, we announced that you did the sale, the 85% off sale for your stock club, which includes, I think, 12 stocks that you give people, like tell people to buy, recommend people to buy. Yes. And you give them price points to buy it at, to sell it at, and also like monthly group calls. And then a bunch of videos, and then it's like a course, like a beginner's course to get up and running, and retirement, all that stuff. And it's usually $2,500 for the year, but you discount it for earning your leisure on Market Mondays, 85% to $347. And it was a 48-hour sale, and it just went crazy. And everybody keeps DMing us, so I called you. I'm like, yo, would you mind like extending it to Sunday morning? And you said, yeah, you were sending it for Sunday morning. So 48 hours extension, just announcing that. So appreciate that. I will put in all the information here. We got it in our bio. And
I'm letting you guys know it's going up after this. It's going up after this. So, man, it's not a course. I'm telling you guys exactly what to invest in. If you don't take action, you'll be stuck on the sideline. Ty, what up, my guy?
Yeah, that's the dope part is that you actually give them stocks to buy, and you tell them what price points to buy it. So that's really dope, and along with other information as well. So thank you for that. Appreciate that.
And I know I hadn't told you this, but on Mondays, so I know some of you need some more support in addition to the monthly call. So 10 minutes every Monday, 9:30 to 9:40, I will let you guys ask questions in real time. 9:30 to 9:40 every Monday. So I'll send out an email and let you guys know that. But it's long-term picks only. I know, because I know you guys are blowing me up on IG, Facebook, Telegram. So just if you execute, I'll give you more support. But 10 minutes, you guys are good. And you're going to have to barricade your door from people breaking in. The indexes will slowly trickle up. But we're at a revolutionary time, because if you guys Google Spanish flu, it was almost 100 years ago that happened. The economy changed from that as well. Some of the companies that we've grown up with are just going to die. You have to adjust. And I always said it. If I think Microsoft is no longer good, Apple is no longer good, I'll be the first to say it. Hey, man, Apple washed up. They had a good run. We got to move on to the next thing. So don't have any bias towards it, but invest in companies that are winning, and you'll be okay.
And I told him that today. I said, Apple, because we was talking about, Troy was talking about like when's a good time to buy Apple, and he's saying like maybe like when it hits 200. But I'm like, it's kind of hard to like. My personal opinion is that Apple's $1,000 stock. That's not $1,000 yet, because it's like if you look at Amazon, I think Amazon's like 2,200. Google is 1,200. Amazon in 5 years is going to be $1,000. Maybe sooner than that. Like I mean Apple in 5 years is going to be $1,000. And I feel like stocks like that don't come along too often. It's like a lot of times the obvious win is too obvious for us. Like we try to like reinvent the wheel with some pharmaceutical company in Wisconsin that is coming up with the coronavirus drug, and then they get beat by Johnson & Johnson, and then they just fall apart.
Or Lilly,
it's like the obvious play is right there. I'm just using that one as an example, but there's a bunch of other ones. But what's your thoughts on Apple? Because we haven't really spoke about Apple. Like I'm a strong believer in Apple. I believed in Steve Jobs when he was alive, and I believe in the company even after. A lot of people kill Apple, but everybody has an iPhone.
I ask everyone all the time. Yeah, like the last call is out now. Oh, the last season about the Bulls, right? And it's like asking, what do I think about Jordan? If I broke up iTunes alone would be a Fortune 500 company. Just iTunes by itself. So it's like sometimes we want to be so smart to say, hey, I found a company in Wisconsin or Ohio that is going to be the next big thing because we want to be validated. I want you guys to focus on money. That's why even in trading, I'm like, don't worry about all these indicators. You need cash. I don't want you to be so technical and to know every single thing that you are not able to profit from the market. So Apple, and even one of the first ones I mentioned when we did the podcast, Apple.
Yeah, you said
people like, there's nothing sexy about it. I'm like, money is sexy.
Yeah.
Profitability. It was one of the companies that fell the least, and then we trickled up today. Microsoft trickled up. Like, you just need to continue to invest every single month.
Yeah, and Apple, somebody said like how much money they had on the side. Apple's been hoarding cash for years. They've had a war chest where they can buy anything. They're like Warren Buffett, Berkshire Hathaway. Like they have enough money where
they have enough money. Yeah, they're probably earnings is coming out. They'll probably report they have probably. I'm assuming $305 billion on hand.
On hand, just waiting, waiting. And like I said, you could talk about Apple's innovation, like they haven't really been innovative, but nope, people are still buying Apple. It's like products, like and they keep you hooked. It's like being on drugs. Like you can't just switch. Like you can't go from an Apple to an Android. You feel like you're
missing out.
Yeah.
And even with innovation, you have two types. You have technological innovation, then you got process innovation. So more, and this is what most people call scale. If you can scale faster than everybody, and now they're cutting out Intel, they're going to make their own microprocessor, another competitive advantage. Now it's another cost that you don't have to pay. Make them in-house. Great. They have the technology to do so. Like Apple will probably be on another run for probably 10 or 15 years.
I want to talk to you about, this is something that under normal circumstances, this would have been on headlines, but nobody even know about this. DraftKings. DraftKings IPO today. And like I said, DraftKings, if you're into fantasy sports and you're a gambler, you know about the platform, and it's huge. And the problem is that I guess there's no sports right now. So that's why it hasn't really gotten too much attention.
Bad time to IPO.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You familiar? Like, I know you're familiar with DraftKings. Have you looked at that at all?
No, give me the ticker.
What's DraftKings ticker? Somebody put DraftKings ticker in, because I know somebody had a question about that. Mike or whoever asked that question, put DraftKings ticker into the joint.
Yeah.
Well, we'll wait. We'll wait. Oh, DKNG. DKNG.
Going from 17 to 20. It's not bad. Gotta give us some time though. Like, I'll look at it in 3 days and see where we are. Yeah, it was flat. I mean, it opened up high.
What did it open up at?
It opened up at like 22 and dropped down to 17, ended around 20. So it's not bad. I mean, they didn't take a beating, but it's a bad time to IPO. And then, of course, but long term, they could have good potential. But right now, let's let it play out for 3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
I don't look to get on many IPOs. I want to see how they develop because the last big ones like Snap, Uber haven't done so well. But right now with the volatility in it and the volume, it'd be a good thing to trade for those of you to trade stocks.
Yeah. I'm interested to see how DraftKings plays out. Like I said, I'm not really into fantasy sports, but all my friends are, and I realize how big of an industry that is, which is only getting bigger.
Yes.
But this Corona thing is really, I mean, sports are dead right now. There's no sports. Like they was betting on the NFL. They had the NFL draft last night, and they was betting on like the draft, like who got drafted first, like the positions that will draft, like if teams would make drafts. Like that's how crazy people are when it comes to gambling. It's like people's going to gamble no matter what.
No matter what, yep.
When it comes to sports. So
part of it is boredom, and then people also still need to make money. That's why I say everyone is an investor and everyone's a trader. We see it now. Even a lot of people in the league are starting to like pick up investing and gambling because you need to. And then hopefully, if they lock the season out, some of them won't get paid.
So shout out one of my friends I was talking to. It's crazy. It's what's dope too, because it's like everybody's in stocks right now. So I was talking to one of my friends today, and he was saying that he doesn't usually into stocks and nothing like that. But now that he's home, he got more downtime. He started like buying stocks. He started like playing around with stocks. So he's like he was making some pretty good decisions. He's like, but the one bad company that he brought was GE. And I know you hate GE, right? So when he said it to me, I'm like, oh man, nah, that's a no-go. So why are you so bearish on General Electric? General Electric is a huge company.
General Electric is a good company, but not a good stock. And for the record, I don't hate any company because I don't
not like that.
Yeah. So, but everyone, if you don't know me, but I don't hate any company. It's just they've been falling forever. I always tell everyone go to the 5-year month first. And look, so I'll do it for those of you right now. If you look at GE, 5 years ago, GE was at the high was 33. GE is at 626. I've been down on GE for 3 years. So if it's not, so imagine, once again, I won't say any ball players. There's a lot of ball players watching. A couple of them got married. So let's say I used to average 33 3 years ago, and now I average 6. You won't even want me on your 24-hour fitness team, on your rec league team. So if the stock has not went back up, why would I put it in my portfolio?
You know what? I wanted you to. I'm glad you brought up that chart too, because the reason why I say that is that psychologically, a lot of times, and it doesn't really make any sense, but we chase losers. So a stock's chart goes down like this, and we see that it used to be 30 and now it's at 6. So psychologically, you're thinking, okay, if I buy it at 6, it'll come back to 30, and now I'm getting it at a cheap price. Whereas you see a stock like Apple, whose chart looks like this.
Yep.
Psychologically, you're saying like, well, it has to come down. I don't want to buy it; it's too high. And then 5 years later, it's going to keep looking like this.
Yes.
And 5 years later, the other one is going to keep going down, or it's going to be like this, like you know what I mean. So
it's going to be more rocky. I mean, because you would rather pay for. Think of it like shoes. What you want to wear, fellas, type yes in chat. What you want a $6 pair of gym shoes. And my guy Tyler here, no. Like no. So you want quality. I would rather pay more for a good company that's going to go up than a cheap company that can go. And that's what I kept saying about oil. Everyone's like USO, and I'm like, no. And the funny thing is, after we got off Market Mondays, the next day oil fell apart. It's like, no, you want to pay for quality. You want to pay for quality. And if you guys look at Apple, Apple's been going up since 1994. Like oil has been sliding down since 2007.
So this is a good question. He said, people are comparing this crash with the internet bubble of '08. Is there another crash coming or more? I can't read the rest of that question, but I guess what he's saying is that, yeah, how does this compare to 2008 crash? And do you see another crash coming?
I think it's way worse.
Way worse.
Because we haven't, like we've thrown, the funny part, we've thrown so many trillions of dollars at the market, I don't even remember how much it is now. Like, we didn't throw this much money.
You think this is worse than '08?
Absolutely.
The crash? Really?
Text 10 people that's black that make less than $60,000 a year and ask them how they feeling. That's the real gauge. Like when the market is good, to me, quote unquote, when black people are doing okay. Because we get everything last. We get all financial information last. That's why when Bitcoin was popping and everyone's like, this is a new wave, I'm like, no one delivers financial information to us first. It's against the rule books of America. So when the recession happens, it hits us first. We get laid off first, furloughed first, and then we get brought back last. I think it's worse because now you can't open up the economy. Now, for those of us that are entrepreneurs, if you're going in deeper on content, deeper on executing, you have a good way. But even for me, I'm thinking I got to put a certain amount of money away for family and extended family. So even after this, it's not like I'm going to race to go get a Bentley. I'm like, I may have some cousins I may have to take care of. Honestly, for a 6 to 12 year period, because they have kids. So I think it's way worse. Because even when the recession happened in 07, 08, at least people were still going to work.
Or they could go to work.
Or they
like,
could go to work.
You don't even have the option. You don't even have the option now.
You
like,
don't.
It's crazy. You can't even go outside.
Businesses slowed down, and especially any business that was operating on a 10 to 15% margin, you're dead. Then there was bad habits of not saving money. That's why, like, the same debt in a business, like entrepreneurs that save money individually, they do so also in their business. A lot of business owners, and we talked about it with 24 hours didn't even have $100 million of cash put away because they never thought the economy was going to stop. Even for my investors, my biggest fear, and I've talked about this with Drew, shout out Drew. My biggest fear is one day they will make the market so expensive that nobody African-American will be able to get into it. It's a possibility. Because what if every future contract becomes $25,000 per contract? Or to day trade stocks, opposed to $25,000, they make the PDT rule $150. You always have to plan for the worst case scenario. And that's why I'm so big, like you need 60 months of reserves and everyone kills me. But I'm like, what if they gridlock the economy for 20 months and you have to help other people? Like we're seeing it now.
Now I got another good question, but before we go, the numbers on here is crazy. 922 people. We need to get to 1,000. If you can hit that little arrow button, everybody that's listening, if you can hit that arrow button and send it to 5 people, DM this to 5 people because we about to really go in, and we need to get this bad boy up to 1,000, maybe even more. But yeah, hit that arrow, send it to 5 people.
Please, I appreciate it. I love y'all.
Yeah, man. Every time we come on, we just break new records, man. It's like the momentum it's like a snowball effect in here.
I was not expecting it, so I greatly appreciate it.
Somebody said ETFs versus stocks, like individual stocks or ETFs. That's a good question because that's a broader question, like mutual funds. But we'll just talk about ETFs versus stocks. What's your thoughts?
You need a combination of both. So for me, it's never either or. But if you're younger, so let's say you're 35 or younger with no kids, I would go individual stocks, tech heavy, so you can get bigger gains. When you start to have a family, you got to balance it out a little bit more because now you have something to live for other than you, and you need to put money away for them. So index funds, ETFs, mutual funds, they're all in the same category to me. Start to add those in more, but if you're going to be super aggressive, go tech heavy. Go tech heavy.
Tech, man, you can't get away from tech, and it's like you said that on the podcast, and it's like we look at all these companies, and they're all tech companies, other than Chipotle, which is interesting. I don't even know why they like, even Wall Street Trapper told me that he doesn't know why it's going up so crazy. And
but Chipotle has always been, and we talked about this when we was like interacting on this live. Chipotle is a McDonald's creation.
Yeah,
that spun off.
Spin-off, yeah.
Yeah, and McDonald's wanted to keep control. They broke away, and then hedge funds pulled away from it, so the price dropped. But over time, and I'll always tell people this: who has been to Chipotle and ever seen Chipotle empty 2 weeks in a row? It never happens. It's a supply and demand thing. Same reason why Nike is a good one of the few good retail companies. Same thing with Apple. Like, we may not think that Apple's innovated. They haven't innovated as much as when Steve was there, but everybody has an iPhone. People get made fun of if you text them you got a green bubble. I don't know.
It could end a relationship.
It's real.
My man Mike, he said if he ever finds a girl and he's like, let's say he's dating somebody and they got a green, it's over. Because it's like you can't trust the person at that point because you don't know if the messages got delivered, and you can't FaceTime the person.
Yeah.
It's the whole hassle. You got to pick a
Yeah.
side and stay. You can't
Yep.
do that.
And then they built in that moat, like some of you in comments were talking about, an ecosystem where it's like you have iTunes, Apple Music. They built the podcast platform. Literally, it was an Apple podcast. So they got enough stuff to keep you in their ecosystem where you don't have to leave. And all those are micro businesses. The podcast business is good. iTunes, Store, the iPad, like the iPad on its own would be a Fortune 2000 business. So that's why I love Apple, love Microsoft, Google, Tesla, and Chipotle is just a great spinoff.
So how you feel about Facebook is actually interesting because Facebook came out. You know what the thing about Facebook is that if you study Facebook, they always like Facebook. It's like they play chess. Like they wait to see what somebody does, and then they it's like they put their piece right there. So remember Vine?
Yep.
So Vine went crazy with I think they had 8-second videos or something like that. And then Facebook came out with, there was 10-second videos. Then Facebook came out with 15-second videos. That's what that's what they took Vine. Vine vanished overnight. Then Snapchat comes out with the stories and they was going crazy. And then Facebook just waited and took Snapchat's stories with Instagram. And so now everybody's on Zoom, right? So what does Facebook do? They announced that they're coming out with the platform where you can video conference up to 50 people for free, right? Now,
Smart.
they see the Instagram Lives is going crazy, but nobody's making money on Instagram. So now creators going to YouTube because you can monetize YouTube. You can't monetize. So now they announced that they're actually working on a platform for creatives and to actually be able to monetize Instagram Live because they seen Instagram Live had like a 500% spike since quarantine.
Yeah.
That's directly related to hip hop with all of the quarantine radio and verses and then even stuff like this where just hit 1,000. Shout out to everybody in here. Appreciate
Shout out
that.
to y'all. That's big. I love y'all.
So Mark Zuckerberg, man, that dude's crazy, man. He just plays chess and he's just like strategically moving. So we haven't really never talked about Facebook. How do you feel about Facebook as a company?
Facebook is good. I've always liked them. For those of you who've been a Red Panda for a long time, I was recommending them 2016, 2017. If somebody can grab that screenshot of 1,000, that's crazy. I love y'all. But Zuckerberg is the Bill Gates of our generation. I've always said that. And it's a good thing for all entrepreneurs. You have to have someone that you model and build your blueprint off of. So Gates was not the most innovative, and that's why him and Steve Jobs had a lot of conflict. Because Gates believed in better processes. Jobs believed in creativity and innovation. So Microsoft used to do the same thing. And if you guys know the story of Microsoft, how they got started, it was almost like on some thievery, copy, and make things better through and through. So and you can either be a pioneer, which sometimes the quote is like pioneers are left with arrows, which is true. Or you can wait till everyone builds the platform, and then you can come in and take it over. So what Facebook is doing is no different than what every rapper does. They'll hear a hot sound, and they'll find a way to make it better and run with it. They just auto-tuned what Zoom and everybody else is doing, and now they're going to put it on a bigger platform.
Yeah.
That's it. They just did the remix. We'll put a little ditty on it.
Do you think they'll make a dent in that video conference space? Because Zoom pretty much got the stronghold on it now, but there's Google Hangout. There's a bunch of other stuff. So you think that Facebook can make a dent?
Yeah, they can. And then also, if you start to give creators a platform to monetize and bring them over, because it's all about how long can I keep you in my ecosystem. It used to be called a plantation back in the 50s. That's why you got workers' plants from. But it was not politically correct to say. So how long can I keep you in my ecosystem? It's the same thing. So creatives come, and then now we get Diddy versus Dr. Dre on Facebook. Everybody's going to gravitate there. Then other creatives will go there. Then Market Mondays will go there, right? So they want to keep everyone there. They'll eventually have a dent, especially if they can clean up some of the privacy issues that they've had in the last couple of years.
Now, I'm glad you said that because that was Steve Jobs' whole thing. It's like, make it so they can't leave. Make it so they can't leave. And it's like, now with Apple mastered that, where it's like you're on your iPhone and you got Apple Music and, now it's got Apple TV. And it's like, you could literally spend your whole day in Apple. So it's like for Facebook, for them to have, because a lot of people still to this day don't understand that Facebook owns Instagram. Like people on Instagram and they'll be like, Facebook is whack. Like I don't trust Facebook. They steal your information.
But you
They steal
love
your data.
IG.
And I'm like, you're saying this from Instagram, which is owned by Facebook.
But
You know
it's a great play, and they technically got, and I know Gary Vee said this back in the day, but they got Instagram for a steal. But Instagram wasn't able to monetize the way Facebook, and that's one good thing. Like once you master one thing, they master the ad platform, they can take it to other things. And that's why I'm so big on zoning in and mastery on the investor side. Because if you can buy one share at a good price, you can buy 10, you can buy 1,000, you can buy 10,000. Facebook, once they got their ad platform down, then they can take Instagram, keep us on there all day. Now we talk on here, right? We scroll through all day, be on our phone 14, 15 hours. It's smart. So use the companies that are most dominant. Facebook, Apple, Microsoft.
It's crazy because when they brought, we hit 1,000. Appreciate you guys. Once again, we're going to do this again. If you could hit that arrow and send it to 5 people, we greatly appreciate it. Let's get this up to 1,500. So it was crazy because when Instagram got bought by Facebook, I remember it was 2012, and the CEO of Instagram at the time was on the cover of Forbes, and everybody was going crazy, and they was like, why? Because Instagram had not made any money at that point in time, and they were saying like, why would you buy a company that has never made a profit? And he was like, that's not true. We made $1 billion. We just made $1 billion. So the thing about like market money and anything, it's like it's not just a stock show, it's a business show as well. And it's like you could always get like for somebody, Instagram was originally a platform to share pictures. That's why it's Instagram, right? And it was like only for I remember when Instagram was only for iPhones. And to see it go from that to what it is now. And like you said, at the time, this is why you gotta have foresight. At the time when they brought it for $1 billion, they're like, that doesn't make any sense. Now, it's like,
it was the steal of the decade.
That's the steal of the decade.
Yep. And for all business owners, you need eyeballs on your business. So that's why you see a lot of the rappers doing all those goofy pranks and stuff, because you need attention almost at all costs. Now, you don't want to go out of your zone, but you have to get attention. And the more attention you get, then if you have a skill set or product that is good, then you can monetize. So I know some of you think money is bad, but even in this time, if some of you are making money, you can then go help other people. You can go help other schools, other families who need it. It's just not about you. So help you, then help your family, help your community, help others. But you have to drive attention to your business.
I want to talk about a sophisticated investment strategy. But before we do, shout out to my man, Kev Vega. He said, y'all hit 1,000 people, y'all don't even DJ. Like there's no music.
Crazy.
There's no music. There's no
Jay,
music
what up, man?
on. So that's dope. So once again, for anybody that might have just joined, we got to thank Ian because on Market Mondays, which is our new show on YouTube every Monday at 8 o'clock, where Ian goes over different stock picks. If you haven't checked that out, make sure you check it out next Monday at 8 o'clock. He announced that he put his Red Panda Stock Club on sale, 85% off. It's usually $2,500, and he discounted it 85% for Earn Your Leisure for a collaboration with us for 2 days. And it was such a success that he's extended it for another 48 hours until Sunday morning. And that's he gives you 12 stocks to buy, what stock point to buy it at, what stock point to sell it at, and then it's monthly calls, and then a bunch of videos and kind of like help you get up and running.
And guide you where to get in. And then also, so for those of you who need more support, because I can't answer every message every Monday, 9:30 to 9:40, I will answer some questions about the ones that we're in. So I can give you guys some more support in real time and tell you where to get in.
Yeah, Lincoln, both of our bios has that if you're interested in that, and that'll be over on Sunday. Once again, thank you for that, appreciate it. So
Michael, what up?
Can we talk about inverse indexes?
Mm-hmm.
Inverse indexes, when you told me about that, and that was something that I wasn't really too familiar with, especially in a hedge, because it's like you can always make money in the stock market. That's what people don't understand. You can make money in the stock market, whether stocks go up or whether stocks go down. So when stocks was crashing, everybody was panicking. But I just read an article today, like I forgot, one hedge fund made like $400 billion, something crazy like that when the stocks crashed, because they just releasing their numbers now. So inverted index. Can you talk about the inverted index?
So that's what I always tell you. So I know you guys are going to get mad when I tell you this, but there is no such thing as a bad market. Just your entries into it. There's something that's going up every single day. So an inverted index is when the market drops, there are stocks or indexes that go up. I know you guys have been asking me, is it a good time to buy UVXY or TVIX? No. For my traders and investors that are more...
What's UV at? What is that?
It's one of the inverted indexes that you guys can use. UVXY.
Okay.
So
Okay.
Ultra Victor, X as in Xander, Y as in yellow, is one that I'll throw you guys for free. So when the market is crashing, if you don't know how to short, you can buy UVXY. Now, I only want you to hold it for 5 days only. 5 days only. You cannot have it in your portfolio all the time because it will weigh your portfolio down. But there is something that is going, even when oil went down, my traders knew short oil as it's going down, and then when the trend changes and goes up, buy it back to the upside. But you have to be able to look at the market and know. It's like saying, when you guys are asking, like, okay, is the market rigged? Is the market a scam? It's like, can you hoop or can you not? So you have to just educate yourself and take action, and then you'll be able to get into the market, make money, regardless. And then there's inverted oil ETFs that goes up and go down. So if you guys just do a little research and hop on Google and just put inverted ETFs, there's a whole list that will come up.
And that would have been it, because it's like to short a stock. If anybody's not familiar with shorting stock, that's when your easy way to explain it is when you're buying stock on the way down, right? And it's like you're making money with stock, but that's a little more complicated for people. But this is, you're just buying an ETF where you're just buying an index, right? So it would have been a perfect time, I guess, to buy that last week for oil, or as oil, because oil broke all-time record down on the downside. It was negative 27. And
then it rebounded, and then I called when it was going to 975. It's like, it's not that I'm a genius with some crystal ball or some gifts bestowed from God. I just put time in. So I treat this no different than, that's why I use the analogies like Tom Brady, Mayweather. It's just time in. Like, if you get the time in, you'll be able to see where the market is going. So that main contract went negative 40. Shout out to Max, because Max was like in it live, and then the next day we shorted it down. You guys can go to my IG, like I called it where it was going to go in real time, and I was in it, because I know there's this thing of like Ian just talks and doesn't trade. No, I trade. Like, that's how you get to know what the market is going to do and the mistakes that are being made. Like, you learn a lot. Like, for all my parents, like, you know how we get frustrated when people are not parents but give us advice about how to parent, and it's like, you have no clue what you're talking about. Like, certain things you're going to learn more just from taking action and having experience in it than just sitting on the sidelines. But that's why these conversations are important, because these should be as natural to us as basketball, football, rap, any of that.
What you said was L, when you was like, as black men, for the most of us, like we start playing basketball when we 3 years old, all the way up to like 18, or if you think you're going to make it to the league, 24, even longer than that. Like, you started 3. And that's true, because I had my son playing at 3. And it's like, but we don't start thinking about investing until we 28, 30.
Too long. We're behind. And then we have so much fear that it's like, I don't even want to begin because I don't want to look stupid. And this should just be said. Now, I don't want you guys to be nerds and be lames. I want you to get off and then enjoy quarantine radio, right? For those of y'all who hopping on demon time, enjoy, do your thing. But this has to be in the equation. Like, you can play 2K, and for those of you that play 2K and hoop anyway, you already have what you need, is just drive and ambition. That's what this really comes down to. Like, so my dad asked me not to curse, so I won't. But some of y'all just don't want this bad enough to go look, because every answer you need, if you hop on Google, it'll be like, okay, Apple's a good company because of these 15 reasons. It's not just me, but it's Buffett. And then even with that, if you Google what's in Buffett's portfolio, he will tell you. Google will tell you this is what Warren Buffett has. Apple's one of those positions. Just be active.
That's one of the reasons why I sold my Delta stock. We'll see if that was a good decision or not. But I had Delta, and when I found out Warren Buffett sold Delta, I became tremendously less enthusiastic about owning Delta, because I'm like, look, I'm not Warren Buffett, so if Warren Buffett decides it's not really a good decision for him to be in Delta right now, maybe it's not as promising.
And if you guys go Google, and here's a home, go to Google and type in, are airlines a good sector to invest in.
Shout out to Wall Street Trapper.
Shout out Trapper. How you doing, brother?
We're gonna do a collaboration for sure.
I can't wait. That's gonna be a lot of fun. But just Google that and type in, is airlines a good sector, and type in 2000. You can see what people's opinions were in 2000 about the airline industry and how many either got acquired or went out of business. And my remaining thesis is like, I don't want to put a lot of money to anything that has an engine. RV, car, plane, boat, because they all lose their value. So any of us that's bought any expensive car, my God, it's fun when you first get it, and then the repairs come in, you drive it off the lot. In 2 years, a lot of the values went away from it, and most of the airline stocks do the same thing.
You know what I like too about you guys, is that both of you guys are obviously extremely knowledgeable about stocks. You're on Wall Street Trapper, but it's not like, you got to pick a side. It's not an East Coast, West Coast thing. It's like there's CNBC, there's like 50 analysts that talk about stocks.
Yeah.
Not one of them, not one person on CNBC is black. I actually didn't even realize that until we had this conversation and you told me about the CNBC. And I thought about it. I'm like, CNBC has one black guy, but he talks about tech companies. He doesn't talk about like trading stocks.
Yeah.
You don't have one black person on CNBC.
Yep.
So I say that to say it's enough room for all of us to coexist. Like,
and even on a deeper level, and I say this all the time, I'm not competing against nobody black. Even if you don't like me, I'm going to fuck with you. Sorry, Dad. But that's why, like, day one, Trap reached out and was like, yo, man, I see what you're doing. Keep shining and go crazy on the content when the episode come out. He didn't have to do that. But that's why, like, us as black men, I'm just talking to us. Why are we competing? And there's a ton of money, and everybody white I know gets money together. Whether they hate each other or not. We should do the same thing. But if you love yourself, and then we can have all the king and queen talks, but if I don't help bring some value to other kings, you really don't love your community. So cut all the sucker shit out and trying to compete and be sneaky, because there's more power in us working together than apart. And half the time, you guys know, when I'm promoting stuff, half the people I don't even know. I never met Trapper in real life. That's why, because I knew people are going to be like, well, it's either Ian or him. It's both.
Yeah.
Because we're both from the hood. We had different journeys. But I'm like, man, real recognizes real. That's why when I hopped on this live, I'm like, bro, I went through 2,200 stocks to find 12. And I knew how long he had been studying. You can't fake that work ethic. Same with Jay Morrison. You can't fake. Jay been putting in work for 12, 13 years. I used to watch Jay on CNBC all the time when that show came on Sunday. He was inspiration to me.
When he was a realtor, right?
Yeah, it's like, come on, man. Like, you seeing all these movements. So, and that's what me and my guy Ty talk about, and that's what me and Donnie doing in live after. It's like, if we all get along, and everybody watching anyway, why not collaborate? Because this is what used to happen during the era of Black Wall Street. Yeah. Everyone talks that, but nobody wants to collab. It's like,
we're stronger together. And shout out to MG the mortgage guy. Like, MG the mortgage guy, I'll get back to stocks in a minute, but he reached out to me when he had 3,000 followers. And like, he was just humble. And I'm giving him advice. And it's like, now he's on, he was on a Breakfast Club and he wore the As Over Liabilities hoodie and he gave us a shout out. Like, yo, shout out to Earn Your Leisure. So it's like stuff like that. Like, he never forgot, like, who looked out early on. Like, it's like,
same
everybody's
here.
A good dude. Like, and that's the good thing with Earn Your Leisure. It's like the people that we bring on the show, it's not just like, we never speak to them again. Like, 90% of them, they actually become friends. And it's like, it's a family. Like, you know what I'm saying? We do events and Alex Good Energy comes out. And, it's just like, you never know who's going to be there. And it's just the whole vibe. So that's really encouraging to see everybody working together. And there is no competition.
That's the way it should be. And it's the truth. And I know Trapper agree with me, right? If you actually know how to invest or trade, shout out to my guy Jay the Trader, right? Because that's my guy too in real life. If you know how to invest and trade, why are you hating on somebody else? The only people who hate on anybody else and investing and trading are the people not making no money. That's it.
Speaking of that, can you talk about a trade? It might have been an old trade, or because we haven't really talked about trading. Some people might be interested in that. Can you kind of walk us through like a trade that you might have had recently, like that you was successful in?
I shorted oil on the day that I called it.
So how does walk us through that? Like, because people might not know it's like anything. Like, how do you short oil? Like, what does that look like? Would you buy it at? Would you sell it at?
I think I shorted oil at 12.44. I put it. If you guys go to my IG, you can see the exact price what I called. And then, so the first trade I took, I lost because I talked. So even with good and bad, I walked through the mistake. I shorted it too early. So if the top is here, the bottom is here, I shorted in the middle. My rule is I need to short at the top. Lost the first one. So all of us have played ball. When we took a jump shot, we shouldn't have. It's like, oh, okay, I missed it. Got the rock back, cool. It went to the exact level I wanted. I hit sell as because I want to initiate a sell order. And that means as soon as it gets to my level, it touches. And then as the market falls, I profit as it falls. So if the league comes back and LeBron breaks his leg, and I don't want Bron to break his leg.
Nah, hope not.
What is the chance that LA has to go to the finals? It's 0.
Yeah, they don't.
So on that day, I knew that oil was going to fall back down because it spiked up heavy. I shorted the market, and then as it went down, I profited. It's not that hard. Same thing back in the day. If AI got hurt when he was playing with Philly, what's the chance of Philly going to the finals? None. I knew that day oil had no chance of going back up to those highs. The next day it did. So that's why I'm big on knowing direction and when to trade, when to get in, because this really is about discipline. Even long-term investing. That's why, like, we all stress, same with Trapper, discipline. You have to go in them books. You have to read. You have to read the annual reports to know who management is, who's running the company. That will transfer over to trading because trading is nothing more than discipline in real life. So if you were a lazy hooper, lazy football player, lazy father, lazy lover, you're not going to do good here.
Lazy lover.
You're not. Like, because it all correlates. How you do one thing is how you do everything. That's why even if I'm late on something, I'm like, my bro, bad. Like, my bad, I'm late on this because it's about trust. So I know some of you are like, hey, man, I don't like the way you do this. I'm like, there's a reason why I do everything the way that I do. Because some of you don't know me. But if I don't reply from 7 to 11 a.m., it's because I'm actually in the market. I'm not just a person who's sitting up here and talking. Like, you have to live this. This is my sport. I didn't get to make it to the league. So I treat this as if I'm playing for the Knicks or the Lakers or whoever, and I'm going to put work in every trade I want to analyze. Why did I miss this shot? Why did I miss this company? And you have to have a fearless attitude. But fearlessness comes from taking action. One of the most competitive, like the strongest competitive advantage that people from the hood have is that we've seen and experienced so much that real world losses don't hurt us as much as people who have not ever lived in any dangerous environments.
Let me ask a question from the thing. They said, is oil something to it? So is oil not something to invest in?
Some oil companies, but USO, no. And I've been screaming that for 4 years. No. Treat this like your sport. Because that's what, and I'm not the smartest person. When I was in marketing and advertising.
USO, can you tell people what USO is for people that might not know what USO is?
United States Oil. And what I want you guys to do is go to google.com and type in United States Oil and a chart is going to come up. Look at the 5-year month. Come back here, type in chat what the price was 5 years ago and what it is now.
Yeah, because people, so like when people hear about like oil and stuff like that, they're like, how do you invest in oil? That's one way to invest in oil. But people think that just because oil is low, it's a good time to buy it. But like you said, if you look at the chart, oil hasn't been
falling. It's gradually been falling down, and then since 2007, it has not come back up. But this is lesson one before you get to the 10K in the annual report in Berkshire Hathaway. Because what I want us to regain, and not just pure book knowledge, so we sound smart, because we really want to intellectually flex on other people. I want you to be able to take care of your family. That's like, you know, what people on Twitter will call the Hotep crowd. Like, you know a lot, but you can't do anything with the information. It's great to be able to read everything, but then you have to go execute. And that's why we have so much fear, because we don't know what to do and when it's time to execute. But if Jordans are on sale, we know exactly when to get them. And we want, like, and this is the part that kills me, like, we won't do any research on Jordans. We'll go buy them like crazy. But then it's like, well, I don't know about Apple, man. What you think? I'm like, I've been saying Apple's been good for 5 years. You don't need to know who produces the cobalt that goes into Apple. You don't do all the research on who made, like, how they put together the Jordan 5s. Take some action, and then you will see. Because even in your losses, you will learn a lot. Okay, I lost because I got in too high. I got in at the 52-week high and slid down 10%. Next time, let me not get it at a 52-week high. Let me wait for it to pull back 15%. Why did then it go up? So then you will start to get some rhyme and reason behind how you invest.
How do you feel about biotech? Because so we talked about Mondero, and it's crazy. Like, we spoke about Mondero on the podcast a month ago. I think it was like $20, something like that. And now I think it hit $50. And if anybody's not familiar with Mondero, Mondero is one of the leading companies that is working towards a vaccine for the coronavirus. And it's actually, they're working with the actual government as well. So they're like they're in pretty good. But it's volatile because it's like, if you don't, any good news is going to send the stock up. Bad news is going to send the stock down. So the biotech industry sector is interesting right now with the virus. Are you a fan in investing in biotech?
I am, and even the one that you mentioned, that's one of the stock picks. But homework for you. I want you guys to go look how many months was that company going up before the corona stuff and before the virus kicked in. Look at the ticker. Go to mRNA and go back and look and see how long they were doing well. Certain companies now, because of this, are going to do better. But even if you look at Amazon, people are like, well, Amazon went up because of corona. No, Amazon was going up way before this. So the companies that are doing well are going to do better if they have great systems and processes in place. What I have to evaluate the market is just a process. Not complicated, but a process. Like, once you have that down, then you can look at anything and then be able to tell where it's going to go. And then when we say we don't know where it's going to go, the gambling is not having a routine. Because there are people that gamble that make money from it for a living. They have a process to do so. That's all it is.
Yeah, man. Once again, I want to thank you. I got one more question for you. But before because Instagram's going to cut us off at 9 o'clock sharp. So I want to make sure that anybody, I said at the beginning, middle, and I'm going to say at the end, Ian has a stock club where he suggests 12 stocks to buy for the year. It's a yearly subscription, and it's usually $2,500, which includes like monthly calls, videos. He tells you how to set up your stock account, all kinds of stuff. It's like the Blueprint 101, retirement, like a retirement ideas on a portfolio. And that is usually $2,500 a year. He discounted it for us, for Earn Your Leisure, for 2 days on Market Monday, our show on YouTube on Monday, 85% to $347. And he extended it for another 48 hours today. And that's going to be over on Sunday, I think at like 11 o'clock Central Standard Time. So 2 days, a day and a half left. The link is in our bio. The link is in Ian's bio. So if anybody's interested in that, please do not DM me. Do not DM Earn Your Leisure. It's not our program. He was just gracious enough to discount it for our community, for the EYO community. When I say our community, EYO community. Yeah, it's something that we did exclusively for him. So yeah, appreciate that, brother.
And I have to let you guys know, it's not a course. I'm not teaching you how to day trade. These are long-term picks.
Not get rich quick. It's not a get rich quick vibe. So that is not something that we are gonna ever try to encourage people to do. Is chase money with foolish nonsense and buy a penny stock till they can lose everything in a day. Retirement. Let's end it on retirement, because that's a big one. And how do you think? Okay, so the 401k, we talked about this before, but I want to say it again for people that might, because I always get this question all the time as an advisor. How should somebody invest their 401k? Let's say if they're 40 years old, or say like 35 years old, right? What's the allocation that a 35-year-old should have in their 401k?
I think you still, well, if you want to have a healthy retirement, you still have to go pretty heavy. And the main thing I want to stress, you can't depend on your 401k or 401k advisor to help get you rich. They don't care. And then they have thousands of clients. That's why I asked you 3 weeks ago, how many of you guys heard from your 401k advisors? Maybe 1%, maybe 2%. So to answer the question, unless you have a bunch of kids, like 3, 4, 5 kids, you maybe want to be a little bit more conservative, but you still have to go heavy, invest every month. And then also, you have to contribute additional money into your own account. in order to. So I like indexes and tech. Tech is going to give you a nice bounce. Now, if you want to
your own non-qualified account.
Yes.
Non-retirement. For non-qualified means non-retirement. So you're saying put money into a retirement account, but also put money into a regular individual account as well.
You have to. Because, okay, if you go into retirement and let's say you work for Coca-Cola and you don't have enough money for retirement, is that Coca-Cola's fault or yours? That's yours because they're already rich. Just call a spade a spade. Because if they lay you off, they're going to say, well, you didn't produce enough, or we need to lay you off to preserve capital. You have to take care of your own first. But go tech heavy. If you want to have bonds or gold in 7.5% a piece, that's A-okay, but you need growth. The reason why it seems so scary for most of us to do it, because we do not take enough action on it. And Trapper said it in here. He was like, if you don't take a shot, you can't even get in the game. So just start small. Start with one share, and after it works, it's great. And someone said they work for Coca-Cola. Great company, but if you have to know what to do for you, and that's all of us, to be able to be okay. Like, you have to have enough in. So it's really not about allocation as much as the number of shares. You want to try to get to 10,000 minimum to be okay. 10,000 minimum.
Ian, it's been a pleasure, brother. We're about to get cut off on Instagram, so I just wanted to do a formal goodbye, man. I appreciate you. Stay safe out there. And
I will.
Yeah, if anybody wants to hit Ian up, his Instagram is tagged on the bottom as well, the Master Investor. Yeah, man, and make sure you check out Market Mondays, 8 o'clock on YouTube, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard, 7 o'clock Central. Make sure you check that out. That's the dopest thing that we got going now on Earn Your Leisure's platform. It's extremely informational and extremely interactive, and a lot of people getting value. And every time, he's always going to have a different tie on, a different suit. How many suits do you own?
I need to go to the store, man. I got a few, man. It's just a pride thing. Like, my grandmother always told me to dress up whenever you're in front of people, so it's kind of an homage to her, because I prefer to be in the hoodie, but...
Nah, I like it. I like it. It sets the vibe. It sets the vibe, man. So, all right, brother, man, I appreciate it. I know you got another live to jump on right now. I'm actually going to check that out. And whose live are you jumping on right now?
Yeah, my guy, Donnie Savage.
He's a big supporter of Earn Your Leisure. Tell him I said what's up. He's been a supporter for a long time, so we got to do something with him. But he's a model, by the way, right?
Yeah. Yes, my guy. Y'all need to do something soon.
Yeah, for sure. So, all right, brother. Appreciate it.
All right, thank you, man.